Good morning and happy Sunday, and I can say that good news, I got better sleep last night. Wasn't nearly as hot, although I would still say my apartment is in fact very hot, but it was good. Let's see what else. I guess I would say my low is I almost missed my live vlog. I mean, I still did in time, but I almost missed it. It's rather unbecoming of me. My high is I got to see my family yesterday. Went to church and dinner with my family. Got to see my nephews. Had a nice time. It was all very wonderful. And my act of kindness was helping my parents, watch my nephews. My brother and his wife are at a wedding in the state of Connecticut, so they're not here. So, without further ado, I have some NFL picks to make, don't I? Okay, and actually, the first game is just under 45 minutes from now. The Jaguars and the Bills. Come on, that's an easy one. Let's go Buffalo. Let's see, the Saints and the Patriots. Saints. The Saints are looking pretty good so far to me. The Titans and the Colts. Titans. Actually, hold on a second. Ooh, right, they both have similar records. I'll take the Titans. Let's see, the Ravens and the Steelers. Oh, the Ravens. Right now, I would say the Ravens are the closest to winning that division for me. The AFC North. That's who I think is going to win the division. Okay, let's see, the Lions and the Panthers. The Battle of the Big Cats. Okay, so I guess I would say... Look at the record real fast. Yeah, Lions. I'll take the Lions. Okay, actually... Ooh, this next game is interesting. The Texans and the Falcons. I'll tell you why it's interesting. I mean, I picked the Texans to win, but I want to make one thing clear. C.J. Stroud. He was like I think it was like the second overall pick in the draft. He got drafted to the Texans, obviously. Okay, so normally when you're about to head into the draft, athletic ability can only tells so much. The other stuff is up here. And for quarterbacks, there's there's a certain mental test or aptitude test that you have to take, and depending on your score, that could weigh heavily on when you're drafted in the draft, or when you're picked in the draft. C.J. Stroud utterly failed that test. There were some experts saying that, he might be borderline mentally retarded. Now, keep in mind, at the end of the day, of course, you'd rather have someone smart playing quarterback than someone who's, not smart. But you're asking about intangibles, and not just any intangibles. The intangibles that are extremely situational. So, honestly, I'm about 50-50 on the validity of this particular aptitude test. My point is, C.J. Stroud may have utterly failed it. He's dominating right now as the Texans QB. It's very clear he's going to get Offensive Rookie of the Year at this point, if he keeps up what he's doing. And it's just hilarious to me that everybody was writing him off because of how he scored in that one test. And he's doing great this year so far. He's doing about as good as you want your rookie QB to do. I mean, yeah. For sure, I got the Texans over the Falcons. Let's see. See, the Giants and the Dolphins. My God. Do I even need to do this one? Of course the Dolphins are going to win. Like, when my Cowboys destroyed them, that was one thing. But at that game against Seattle, I mean, there was one shining light in the Seahawks game that the Giants played. And that was Kayvon Thibodeau. And the Seahawks are not nearly as good as the Dolphins. So, I'm expecting Tua to throw at least 250. If Tua gets less than 250 in this game, I'll be stunned. Throwing for 250 yards, I mean. So, yeah, I'm picking the Dolphins over the Giants. See, the Bengals and the Cardinals. Well, it seems that the Bengals always get a slow start every year. It's definitely looking that way this year for sure. But I think they finally are starting to get their groove on. And so now, I would say they should beat the Cardinals. Let's see. The Eagles and the Rams. That is going to be a very good game. It should be a very good game. And I do expect the Rams to play them tough. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love if the Eagles lost. So at least then, well, actually, no, it won't matter. I'll tell you why in a second. But yeah, I hope the Rams win, but I'm picking the Eagles to win that game. Sorry, that was on my finger. Let's see. The Jets and the Broncos. Okay. Listen, it's pretty obvious. I'd be picking the Jets a lot more often for a lot more games if Aaron Rodgers never got injured. That's a given at this point. That having said, both the Jets and the Broncos are 1-3. For whatever reason, Russell Wilson is not remotely playing like he was back when he was in Seattle. It's an interesting call to make. This is a tough one. Because whoever loses this game, you might as well outright check them off for teams that are not remotely in the hunt anymore for the playoffs. And they're both 1-3. You know what I'm going to go with? Here's the thing. As funny as it would be for the Broncos to beat the Jets, just because at this point the Broncos winning would be hilarious, I got the Jets winning this game. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to who has a better defense, and I totally got to give it up to the Jets. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Chiefs and Vikings. Yeah, who am I kidding? It's the Chiefs. Who's not going to pick the Chiefs in this game? I mean, don't get me wrong. Pat Mahomes versus Kirk Cousins should be for somewhat interesting television. But, yeah. It's sad. So I got the Chiefs winning against the Vikings. So, do you guys remember earlier when I said I would love for the Rams to beat the Eagles, yet it really wouldn't matter? tonight's game is why. Because my Dallas Cowboys have a date with the San Francisco 49ers. And this is essentially a rematch of the divisional playoff game that the Cowboys lost last year. Man, I don't know. Come to think of it, have I ever not picked the Cowboys before? Actually, I have. There was that one time when the Cowboys played against the Patriots, and it was obviously against Tom Brady. And I never bet against Tom Brady, so yeah. Here's the thing, though. The 49ers don't have a Tom Brady. That's good. Here's what's bad, though. They have a Brock Purdy. Yes. Mr. Irrelevant. A year ago. Oh, he's not irrelevant anymore. Like, you know what? I saw Skip Bayless say this the other day, and it made perfect sense. The more that you expect Brock Purdy to fail or make a mistake, the less likely it's going to happen. Like, I mean, look, needless to say, the San Francisco 49ers were good before Brock Purdy was even there. I mean, getting Trey Lance, that was a ridiculous move. It was. They never should have gotten rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, and honestly, last year proved why. And Brock Purdy is utterly dominating in Jimmy Garoppolo's place ever since Garoppolo got traded to the Raiders, which game is tomorrow, by the way. And here's the thing. Brock Purdy absolutely scares me. As a Cowboys fan, yeah, he scares me. It is very clear that in the NFC East, it's going to be between the Eagles and the Cowboys for who's going to the NFC Championship. And whoever makes it to the NFC Championship, the 49ers are going to be there. In a way, this game should provide some solid insight as to what might be happening come playoff time. Provided the Cowboys make the playoffs, of course. I mean, again, it's all speculation. It's only week 5. I mean, for all intents and purposes, my Cowboys could lose out the rest of this season. I wouldn't know it yet. I hope it doesn't, though. Both the Cowboys and the 49ers have great defenses. And one way or another, Micah Parsons is going to get to Brock Purdy. He will. He'll find a way. Unfortunately, the same could be said for, the likes of Fred Warner and Nick Bosa for the 49ers. So, what do you do? And then there's just what the Cowboys have versus the 49ers too. I mean, on the one hand, the Cowboys got Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. And meanwhile, the Niners got Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. But the one person on the 49ers who scares me even more so than Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, I've heard, pray tell, that Christian McCaffrey is already intoxicating the MVP this year. If he did, he'd be the first running back to do it since Adrian Peterson. He did it back in 2012. Actually, he'd be the first non-QB in general to win it since Adrian Peterson did it in 2012. So, how do you play this game? As a Cowboys fan, how do you play this game? I mean, both teams are going to have some real big stops. And this is the first time I'm starting to really see what people are saying about Dak Prescott. Now listen, for those of you who don't know, I've always defended Dak Prescott. I have. For the simple fact that he's not Tony Romo. Okay? And right now, Dak Prescott's been on a narrative to completely undo what last year was. I think he's only had like one interception so far this year. So, I mean, for those of you who don't know, Dak Prescott tied for the lead in interceptions and turnovers. And he was out 4 games. So, when I tell you Dak Prescott is trying to rewrite a narrative, he's legit trying to rewrite a narrative. Having said all that, I'm going to hate to do this. Cowboys proved me wrong. I'm picking the 49ers. I am. I just am. Lock it in there. I'm picking the 49ers to win this game. So, my picks are the following. The Bills, the Saints, the Titans, the Ravens, the Lions, the Texans, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Eagles, the Jets, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. Man, I hope I'm really wrong about that last one. Just like I hope y'all like this video, and if you did, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I am very humbled that I made this video for all you guys watching Joe Fan. Hopefully you have a wonderful, 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 wonderful Sunday. Oh, happy Sunday, everyone. And remember, if you guys want to talk to channel, those who are here to lend me, always your back, take care, and make good choices. 6-0-7 all day, baby.